Hello folks, and welcome back to Triclaw Gaming with me, Fletcher. And today I'm going to discuss some speculative ideas for species that may be coming to Jurassic World Evolution 2 in the realms of pterosaurs and aquatic animals. But first, please don't forget to like, comment, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing for more content from us. We would especially be thankful for as many likes as possible, as it really does help us with the YouTube algorithm. Now then, a bit of a disclaimer for today's video. It's going to be going through some research I've done looking at what sorts of species we might get for both the pterosaurs and the aquatic reptiles in JWE2. This is a highly speculative video. It's based no way on anything official, just some research I've done myself. This video is also assuming that we're going to get more than one type of pterosaur and aquatic reptile, and let's hope that is the case. Just to explain how I've come up with this list, I've looked over all of the novels, the films, the comics, and some of the games. I've not included the mobile games as part of that research, because they seem to shove any and every species they can find into their games. So, let's begin with the pterosaurs. We already have it confirmed that Pteranodon is coming to the game. We've seen it in screenshots. So, what other possibilities are there? I think that diminutive Dimorphodon is a strong candidate to appear. This is mostly due to its prominent role it had in Jurassic World, both in the air attack scene, but also trying to bite off Chris Pratt's face, and it doesn't get much more prominent than that. In seriousness, however, Dimorphodon has a lot of history in the Jurassic Park franchise, taking all the extra canon into account. It was a planned attraction for Jurassic Park. The cloned individuals for Jurassic World are larger than the fossils, having a wingspan a meter larger than in reality. There's also a few other irregularities, including angular skulls instead of rounded ones. If they do take the Dimorphodon as we see it in Jurassic World, it's not going to be fossil accurate. The Dimorphodons in the film have a blue-grey top and a grey stomach with some sort of pink highlighting on the face, so that might be one possible skin that we would see for a Dimorphodon in JWE2. Assuming that we would want a range of animal sizes amongst the pterosaurs, Dimorphodon would be a smaller species. I think the likelihood of it being in the game is relatively high, just mostly because of its part in Jurassic World 1, but like I said, it is highly speculative. Geosternbergia, or Geosternbergia, however you want to pronounce it, is a moderately sized pterosaur that comes from both the expanded canon but also cut content from The Lost World. Originally recreated for Jurassic Park, it was classified and hidden under a Pteranodon pseudonym, but it is in fact a separate species. Roland Tembo's guidebook proves its presence on Sorna, and there were also models made and drawings for the movie. The model seen shows a blue-purple body with a white underbelly and large possible yellow crest. In terms of size, it would be similar to Pteranodon, or a bit smaller. I think this one would be quite surprising to see being put into the game, but I could see it being done as a DLC species or a Dino Pack species, for example. A species that directly comes from the original novel, Ceradactylus? I think it's Ceradactylus, is another larger variety of pterosaur. In the novel, these dinosaurs have a hostile, territorial nature and have been seen attacking maintenance crews with bat-like dives. If this behaviour is copied over to Jurassic World Evolution 2, it could make these pterosaurs one of the more difficult to handle and maybe liable to escapes. Again, that's purely speculative. The way these creatures act would eventually be seen in Jurassic Park 3. As a pterosaur, it has a narrow head with oval-shaped crests on the top and bottom jaws, and a wingspan of around 5 meters. Again, I think this could end up as a DLC species given its novel history. The final possibility is Quetzalcoatlus. Now, this would be a very large animal to house. It's one of the biggest pterosaur species that we know has ever existed. There is some confirmation that this is going to be in Dominion, but if it is, I think it's likely we'll see this being added as a post-Dominion update like Frontier did with Jurassic World Evolution 1 and Fallen Kingdom. I think Dimorphodon and Ceradactylus are strong bets for possible inclusion on release, but like I say, it's all purely speculative. Now, moving towards aquatic animals, they're a lot rarer in the Jurassic Park lore. Even looking at the comics and such, we have just a few possibilities, assuming again we're going to get more than just the Mosasaurus. The first we will look at with the most Jurassic Park lore behind it is the Plesiosaurus. a species of plesiosaur, or long-necked sea reptile. It's seen in Jurassic World inside the Innovation Center. Its location was also apparently cut from the movie. The location that it was going to be in the movie featured also an unnamed species of ichthyosaur. It's also appeared in Camp Cretaceous, although I've not seen the scene myself because I haven't watched it, and it is apparently in a toy line for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It's also the stereotypical prehistoric sea animal with its long neck and flippers, so I think it has a high chance of being in the game on release just because of that. Other than that, the other possible might be Tyrannosaurus. This is a type of mosasaur that's been estimated at being slightly smaller than the Mosasaurus, the species that Jurassic World's animal is based on. Tyrannosaurus was featured solely in the Telltale game about Jurassic Park. However, it was going to appear in an animated Jurassic Park show. That's about all the stuff I can dig up on about Tyrannosaurus. That's basically it for aquatic reptiles. Not a big list at all, but there is one final possibility that is in itself mentioned in Jurassic World Evolution 1. The information for the Pierre Shale dig site, where you dig up the Pteranodon, mentions that the site is also the location for digging up the large ancient sea turtle Archelon. It is in fact one of the few dig sites, and I think the only one, that mentions another species of animals directly by name that is not in the game. Now, I accept this is a massive stretch, but we are speculating, and Archelon would represent a herbivorous sea animal, which would make it different to the Mosasaurus. It also comes from the same time period as the Mosasaurus, and it's essentially just a giant turtle, which means if they are reusing some stuff from Planet Zoo, like we have seen with the cactus, then it wouldn't be too difficult to just take an pre-existing turtle and make it bigger. We know that green turtles have been added to Planet Zoo recently, so who knows? But again, that's probably the biggest stretch I will ever make, and that is highly speculative. Now there's one final area of speculation I have thought about. In Jurassic World Evolution 1, a great many dinosaurs seem to have representations based on walking with dinosaurs. This British documentary was a major part of the dinosaur revival that occurred in the early 2000s. Now, Frontier is a British company, and as such, this may give us more ideas for possible animals. Under Pterosaurs, we have a few from Walking with Dinosaurs. Ornithocheirus had a prominent position in one episode, and its huge size was based on fragmentary evidence. But Jurassic World Evolution hasn't shown much determination to stick to realistic sizes, so it could make for a giant pterosaur. We also have the smaller, more decorative Tapejara that has a very distinctive crest, which would make it look very interesting. And finally, we have Rhamphorhynchus, a small pterosaur from the big aquatic episode of Walking with Dinosaurs. In the aquatic department, we have a few possibles too. Ophthalmosaurus would represent the ichthyosaurs, a very prominent sea reptile in the fossil record, especially in Britain. Cryptoclydus was another of those long-necked plesiosaurs, but by far the one animal most people remember is the Liopleurodon. This supersized giant pliosaur, or short-necked reptile, was massively oversized for the show, but it looks incredible. Its skin coloration is great, and it had this powerful, domineering persona in the episode. It was definitely the bad guy for this particular episode. If Frontier likes Walking with Dinosaurs, then Liopleurodon would probably be an amazing addition. I mean, could you imagine a fight between a 25 meter long, 150 ton Liopleurodon and a similar sized Mosasaur from Jurassic World? It would be quite a sight. Plus, I love Liopleurodon. It's like my favourite aquatic sea reptile from this time period, so... and it's also Evo's favourite, so come on, Frontier. Anyway, these are all highly speculative possibilities from me, and I want to reiterate that these are all just ideas. Nothing is confirmed, this is based on nothing at all but my own research. Tell me in the comments what sort of aquatic or flying reptiles you think we might see, and what evidence you have for them being used. Don't forget to like the video and to help us combat that algorithm. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing, or at least checking out our other videos on Jurassic World Evolution and other games. For now, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.